Now, this episode is going to be different than any other episode because we get really personal, funny, and sharing the tidbits of our lives as me and my partner Matteo, we interview each other on this podcast. So if you ever wanted to know all the funny stories, the behind the scene things, and just to get to know me a little bit more, then this episode is for you. Hey everyone, this is a really special episode because I wanted to do a special Valentine's Day episode with my one and only, my partner, Matteo. So I've had him on the podcast with me, asking me all sorts of questions. So if you're in for PR marketing tips, this episode is going to be very different. We're going to get personal. We're going to share some really funny stories, insider things. So buckle your seatbelts, get ready. Welcome, Matteo.
Hi everyone.
Why don't you give everyone a little intro about yourself?
Sure. Well, my name is Matteo. As Gloria said, I've known this crazy person for, 3.5 years now? A year after I moved to New York. I'm originally Italian, so before then I spent most of my life in Italy, and then I started, traveling for work and for study. I got my MBA in Barcelona, and then I was, between Germany, UK, and then I moved to the US for Penguin Random House, which is the biggest trade publisher on the planet, and I'm a VP of marketing.
Awesome. All right, so we're just gonna dive into it. Oh my God, I'm gonna be so embarrassed after this episode. But okay, so my first question to you is, what is something weird that I do during my routine that most people would be shocked to know?
Well, maybe you found a pattern in the time that Gloria schedules her meetings, which is usually, 11 noon the earliest. And so she's definitely not a morning person. I gotta say, she's a night owl, so she works till very late, but in the morning is impossible to get her off bed. And so for me, it's always like getting up earlier, walking the dog, putting a coffee, and then she shows up at 11 after that.
Well, that's good. So you're welcome for giving you the morning free, right?
Yeah, sure, except then I have to leave the room every time she has a call, so.
Okay. All right. So, you go next. You asked me another question.
Okay. So if you can change one thing about your business, what would it be?
Ooh, just one thing. Okay. Obviously, there's so many things I want to change and improve on. But I guess if there's one immediate thing I would love to change is just knowing what the right team configuration is. I think it's so difficult as an entrepreneur to build a team and knowing who to hire next. And this has been the single most challenging thing for me because I made a lot of mistakes, time, money, resources, and I still am figuring it out. And it's been a very humbling experience knowing my weaknesses as a leader and just how much I still have to go in terms of stepping into that role of the leader that I know I'm capable of, and I can see, but I'm just not quite there yet. So that's one thing I would change, is just knowing how to be that leader and build that team that I know can allow me to do everything I want in my business.
It's a good one.
Okay, so my question for you is, we share an office. Unfortunately, you're right there.
I mean, it's New York. What can I do?
How do you know when I'm not having a good day, or it's just time to leave me alone? Is it something I do? Do I fidget, or how can you tell?
Well, you're definitely very focused. Gloria's when she starts, it's impossible to distract her, to the point that it's an inside thing we have, pull her away from her desk just to distract her. But because she's so focused, especially when she has a bad day, you cannot really get her attention. So she's snappy, and she talks back, and it's just she's not in the mood for any type of conversation outside of work. So I'm okay, I'm gonna leave her alone and do my own thing, whether it's cooking, walking the dog, and I'm okay, she doesn't want to talk. So yeah. She's having a day,
which is so not my thing because I'm such an extrovert. I talk all the time, so when I'm silent, something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay, you go ask the next question.
What's one part of being your own boss that makes you wish you worked for someone else? So what don't you like about being your own boss?
I have to pay for all my office supplies.
And sometimes she asks me to supply something.
That's, surface level. Being your own boss is nice and all, but man, the problems don't go away just because your day ends, right? It's with you. It's on your mind 24/7. So one thing I wish I could do is just turn my brain off. I'm always thinking about how I can improve my business, how I can serve my audience, what content I want to do, who do I want to meet, and it's really difficult. And this is a different way of living from when I was working in government. So
Fair enough.
okay, so my
Can't have it all.
yes. Okay, so my question to you is, what's the most surprising thing about like you witnessing me building my business? Because, you know, obviously like when we met, it was kind of just beginning, like, you know, my community and everything. I was still doing consulting, but what's really surprised you about kind of building a business during the pandemic?
Well, it's a story that I tell everyone, you know, who maybe meet you for the first time and you know, ask me what you do. And I've been remarkably surprised positively in a positive way by how you built your business over the pandemic, how you pivoted because of like the times we started living in, you know, very resilient, a very, you know, I mean, you've always had that in you, but it definitely came out during the pandemic because you had to adapt through the times, and you were like, you know, we were living in the same place, sharing the desk, and just like seeing you building and growing and like getting more clients, and always, that's maybe the most surprising thing, like you always trying to figure out what was the next thing, how to improve yourself, always like, you know, trying to evolve. And not being stuck. This is my offering. This is my product. I'm going to get clients, and that's it. You're always like, you know, trying to get to the next thing. And I think that's not only surprising, but as I said, also remarkable. So very impressed.
Thank you, honey. It's exhausting sometimes.
Well, didn't choose it for you. So.
Okay. So your turn to ask.
Yes, that's a good one. What is the funniest story about working at home together?
Ooh. Okay, so one time I was on my coaching call. I'm in a business mastermind with other online businesses. And we have these calls only twice a month with everyone, with the coach, with everyone in the program. It's the only time I see them. And we share an office, and there's also a closet in this office. And so while I was on the call, Matteo comes home. He starts changing. He starts taking off his pants, getting into sweatpants. And everybody on the call is like, oh my God, Gloria's partner is literally changing. Is he going to get naked? Like, what's going on? And I just turn around. He's like in his boxers, just walking around. I'm like, dude, what the hell? But it was funny. But that's what happens when we share a space. So. And
when you date an Italian.
So. Yeah, he's basically a nudist.
It's your turn, I think.
Okay. My question is, how do you think my attitudes about my business changed like this year as opposed to maybe last year? It was kind of just getting started.
Well, I think it goes back to what you said earlier, you know, like you literally went from being a one-person team, like on your own, building everything, with its like pros and cons. Like you're in full control of what you can do and can't do at the same time. So you get to a point where if you want to scale and grow your business, you need some help. You can't do it all. And you're very good at some things and less good at others, not just you, Gloria, like everyone. Yeah. And so I really saw you from being like one person team and building your business by yourself to needing that help. And like to your earlier point, like how to build a team, lead a team, motivate a team, and everyone being aligned to, you know, like work towards the same goal. So that is definitely like a step that every entrepreneur, I bet, goes through. And it's definitely a defining moment. And you're doing it greatly. So, you know, you're basically less focused on, you know, creating and selling the business and more like having the support you need to, you know, bring it to the next level.
Yeah. I just wish I knew exactly what to do next.
But who does? I mean, you can like learn and listen and read as much as you want, but at the end of the day, everyone is different. You have to like lean in what you're best at, and also let go of like the things that you're gonna be perfect. So
yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
So what is your favorite client story?
Oh my God, I have so many amazing people in this PR starter pack, especially amazing female founders. But if I had to pick one that is really inspiring is, you know, this woman, Leanna, she is a cancer survivor, and she was like watching all my free content and following me for like a year. And she just she couldn't commit to joining my program. And so she was, doing all the work. And then she finally, after like a year, jumped in, and immediately she was able to get her stuff into like the top retailers. She got onto podcasts. And when I did a Facebook Live with her, she's like, I really don't know why I waited for so long, because like I have so much experience and story to share that I can't believe I waited this long. And it's not so much about the media features for her, but it's about her feeling truly confident to share her story in a way that can inspire other people, right? Using her voice. And I could even tell from even before and after her like getting on podcasts and magazines, like how her tone of voice was different, how she was more vocal, how she was more confident. So just seeing that actual physical change is just something that lights me up like every day when I think about it. So, all right. Is it your turn or my turn?
I think it's your turn to ask me. You just answer a question.
Okay. All right. I'm very forgetful. Okay. So my question is, what is something that I do that's super annoying?
As we live together?
Yeah.
As a couple? Well, you all got to know that Gloria is very OCD in some aspects, not all of them. But she cannot tolerate, like, I guess dirt. It's not that I tolerate dirt, obviously, but, it's a constant vacuuming every single day.
Well, our dog sheds like crazy.
But she does, to be fair. But, like, for example, the trash bins, they have to be emptied even if they're half full, right? Like, throw this, throw that. And I'm like, why do you need to, like, do that now? She has this, like, or when we get delivery from Amazon, like she needs to throw out the boxes immediately. I mean, of course they're in the way, but next time you go out, you can throw them away immediately. So
they have to go out.
She doesn't want anything in that is extra, that doesn't belong in the space, in the house, in the apartment for any longer.
I hate packaging.
Okay.
All right. So my question is, what is something you're way better than me at?
Wait, so another question from you straight away?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to like, go by what I do like in the house. I'm a way better cook. So I'm the cook at home. We have a great division of labor. So cooking is on my end and I generally enjoy it. The other day I cooked the most amazing Chinese eggplants that, never done before. So approved by a Chinese native. What else? I take care of our dog. So now Tia loves me a lot more than she loves you. I'm a much better listener, focus my attention on whatever the other person is saying versus her like being
ADD.
ADD, exactly, precisely ADD. But she's a lot better than me in many other aspects. For example, being an entrepreneur and being like, a successful business owner. So, as I said earlier, like you can't have it all. You're not perfect. And we're very balanced. So that's the best part.
All right, your question.
So what are the videos, what are videos on social media that you're obsessed watching that have nothing to do with PR or female founders, so nothing to do with your business?
Okay, so I am obsessed with watching like terrible cooking videos where people just botch Italian food because I just love his reaction, like swearing in Italian when people, there's this woman who basically puts raw pasta from the box like into a container and she puts like salt and whole garlic cloves. All raw. And she just like sprinkles it on and layers it and then puts it in the oven. And that's how she cooks her food. And it's so vile, especially for someone who like is with an Italian, that I just love watching videos of Americans just like messing up Italian food and then showing it to him and just getting him pissed off right away. And just his reactions are just so funny.
Also because like there's a way to cook stuff. Like when I cooked the Chinese eggplants, I went on different websites. I found like the original Chinese, I mean, allegedly, but at least it was like, it looked legit. I'm not going to improvise and try to do like garlic Chinese eggplants with my recipe. So I don't understand why people butcher Italian recipe.
Okay, I have another question is, what was one thing about America that shocked you when you moved here?
Well, I mean, it still shocks me, but I can go on for a long time. I guess the healthcare system. It's something that keeps boggling my mind. I posted this quote the other day on Twitter. I have to pull it up, but like, I can't remember off the top of my head. But being like a leading nation in this world and having such a system that is geared towards profit and it doesn't take care of its citizens like as a human right. I mean, I come from Europe, which is like way more, is a much better welfare, but I think there are needs, like basic needs, that you cannot not provide to your citizens. Healthcare is one, education is another one. And so navigating, luckily, I'm healthy, but navigating American healthcare is really something that, traumatized me and still does. So, yeah.
Okay, but what did you say when you first went to Walmart for the first time?
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I mean, we can have another long conversation about gun rights, but I was shocked to see that there was a section of the store dedicated to guns. There was a line, and you could like buy them. I mean, I guess without any permit. So yeah, the thing about Walmart was the size of things, the sheer size of like the products that you could
mayonnaise.
buy.
Like the 30 jars of mayonnaise.
Yeah, I'm like, why do you need 30 jars of mayonnaise?
And you're like, who's eating this?
Says a lot about the eating habits of this country, but
maybe things just last longer. So if you buy 30, you're set for the whole year, baby.
Sure, but that tells a lot about what's inside of them. I mean,
that's true too.
Always remember, you are what you eat.
So now I'm going to ask you, what is our favorite show that we've been binge watching throughout the pandemic?
Another question for me then, like straight away. Okay, I'm happy to answer.
Oh, you're supposed to ask. Sorry, see, look. I'm ADD. This was your question.
Okay, see, I mean, we can. It's a double question, or it's a question for both. So, what is the show that we binge watch a lot the most during the pandemic, and we still do? Is it that one? Is it the one that I'm thinking? Wait. I bought her this at some point. So, if you haven't guessed already. It's
The Office.
Okay. Maybe people don't know.
Yeah, we love The Office, and lately we've been binge watching on Succession. We love Succession.
Yeah, it's a really good show. I mean, we had to binge watch it because we got COVID over. Can I say this?
Mm-hmm.
Over the Christmas break, so we're like stuck at home in quarantine. But it's something that I've been wanting to watch. She watched the first season, but she was happy to watch it again, and we plowed through.
Yeah. I think it's your turn now for a question.
Sure. So what is your, if you could have any podcast host, guest, who would you have?
Oprah, duh.
Okay, why? Elaborate.
Oh my God. I have been following her for so long. I love her podcast. She's just, her energy, she's just the OG. And oh my God, I would just love to be in a room with her. Okay. I actually just worked with a client. I did a press release for her. She's a textile artist, and her art was hanging in Oprah's house, and she was invited to the Oprah experience. And I was like, oh my God, you hugged her. So I'm like just one association away from meeting her, just one.
One level of, 1 degree of separation. Okay.
I'll ask you another question. What is something I spent way too much money on that you're just like, why?
What is it? Oh, definitely skincare products that she's trying to like bring me into as well. But I'm becoming like diligent and good at that. But
good.
Took her a while. What else? She has a favorite store. I mean, she hasn't bought stuff there for a while, but IRO, as soon as she sees a store of IRO, she goes in and she does not come out of the store empty-handed. And coconut water. I mean, what is the brand that you love?
Harmless Harvest.
I mean, it's delicious.
It's expensive, but
our fridge is always full of coconut water.
Yeah.
So,
hey, you, I don't drink, and you guys spend like $19 on a cocktail. So what's $11?
Fair enough. I'm not arguing
Am I right?
with that, but
am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's awesome.
So we're getting to the end of this episode. I just want to do like a real quirky, casual one. So I really hope this one was entertaining for you. If you would like to have Matteo back on the show, please comment, rate, review, and subscribe. Yeah, and let me know if you enjoy this episode and what other questions we should ask. Is there another question that you want to ask me and put me on the spot on while we have this episode going?
Yes. Can it be business related, or it has to be a little bit?
Sure.
So if there's one thing that you could choose to achieve this year, with your business, whether it's economic or financial, whether it's like a specific industry or like a specific client or yeah, sector that you haven't explored, or even just like, you know, to your point of like growing the team, getting to a place of, you know, yeah, of like, you know, that you know you can move on, that, you know, sky's the limit. Like there's nothing that can prevent you from getting there.
Well, on
like
the
magic wand, what would you pick?
Oh, my magic wand would be getting all of the people on my Facebook and PR Starter Pack community onto any speaking panel stage that they want. Because I really think now that, you know, like we're getting back into real life, you know, I think we really miss the in-person kind of events. I know I do. And I think being able to help them feel like they can pitch themselves and get onto those panels, something I'm doing for myself as well, that would just make me so happy, because it's just nothing like that in-person connection, you know?
And I'm sure you can do it. I mean, this one is able to put people on the most amazing outlets without them even having a business. So I'm sure it's definitely doable, attainable for you. And it's a good goal. I like it.
What is your goal this year for yourself? Or?
It's a year of change for me. I mean, we started with a few housekeeping, what do you call it? Like, you know, logistic health practices. Like can I say it?
Yeah.
She had a big surgery that we were really happy to get it done with. I had a couple of surgeries myself. I just got my LASIK eye surgery. I've been complacent on a bunch of different areas in my life for too long. And for example, my work permit, my visa is coming up. So I need to, you know, figure out a way to live in this country. But I have her, you know, we're getting married in case like nobody knew, but we've been engaged for a long time. So like,
you better behave, huh?
It's no news. So I feel it's a year of change, and I want to explore areas that, whether it's business or music, for example, that I haven't been able to explore, or, you know, I haven't put enough effort behind to explore enough in the past. So yeah, a lot of new stuff this year.
You're being humble. Matteo is also a self-taught DJ, and he bought like a big DJ set for his birthday.
So. Well, self-taught. I mean, I have friends who taught me.
We do have a lot of friends who are
so, for example, tonight is the night, because it's like cold and snowy, to practice.
Yeah, it's a storm. Literally, everything's shut down. So he's going to start playing music, and it's really strange, but I find that electronic music is actually conducive to focusing.
Okay.
Which is so weird to so many people.
I brought her into that. She always jokes that like before meeting me, it was, you know, a completely different genre she was listening to.
100%.
But now she can't avoid it, and she loves it. Hey, listen, I've been going down music rabbit holes all my life, and this is the one that I'm going through now. So
yeah, you introduced me to like the techno, house, electronic, and I introduced you to like classic soul, like R&B.
Today we were listening to like soulful music for the most part of the day, and it was beautiful. So you always have to learn from each other.
There you go. Now, on that note, happy Valentine's Day. I hope we hate Valentine's Day.
Sorry, we're not very romantic.
Yeah, we actually have anti-Valentine's Day word. Like, we will not do anything on Valentine's Day. We will not give each other a gift on Valentine's Day or subscribe to society's forcing us to buy into the capitalistic ways. But
because you also have to celebrate love every single day of the year, not just one day.
That's true. So on that note, love yourself, love everyone else, and remember, you are enough.
Love meeting everyone. Bye.